to Discograffiti, the deep dive podcast for music obsessives that gives freaks like you and me the chance to connect with a brotherhood obsessed with rating the entire discography of every single artist and band that ever mattered. I'm your host, Dave Gebroe, and with 3 new episodes each week, you're going to gain a comprehensive knowledge of an act's history and output in the time it takes to listen to one album. Each new guest swings a hard left into an area you either had no idea you needed to know about or know all about and can't believe you're not alone out there. And in this episode, we'll be turning our spray cans on Spirit, Psst, along with our special guest, band biographer Ryan Gabrinetti. Part 3 covers Spirit's most fondly remembered LP, 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus, which also became the commercial high point to the band. An FM underground classic created after the band had parted ways with producer Lou Adler, it has since served as the introductory keyhole for most of the band's fans. Here are just a few of the many things that Ryan discusses with Discograffiti in this podcast. A discussion about the single that served as the band's final release of the 1960s, how Neil Young's producer David Briggs modified Spirit's sound to showcase the band in a different light, the fights that were happening in the band at the time, not to mention the massive accident that Randy California incurred during the recording of Sardonicus, whether Randy's brain injury contributed to the boundless sense of creativity he experienced for many years to come, and an in-depth deep dive on every song off 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus. 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus is the record that most people, is their primary sort of keyhole into the Spirit world. It was not for me. And so when I came to this record, it was from a quizzical place, mainly because I think of the rocking nature of it, and it's much more dryly produced. You have David Briggs in the producer's seat, who I believe was suggested by Neil. Yes. Obviously, it's Neil Young's standby guy.
He's the guy.
And he was repaid 7 years later with being shoved off stage, which we'll get to. But 12 Dreams is the 4th album by the band, and it was released in November 1970. It was the lowest charting album up to that point. It peaked at number 63 in February 71, spending only 14 weeks on the chart, but it sold well as a catalog item and became the band's only album to ultimately go gold.
It took 6 years.
6 years, yeah.
6 years.
And okay, so this is kind of regarded as a landmark of art rock. Now, what is, because I love concept albums, but is there really a concept here?
That's a really good question, man. I think that they set out to do a concept album.
So it's one of those where they had good intentions to make.
I think you could say the same thing in a lot of ways about Potato Land. Like it has like
no. Potato Land. It's not even a concept. It's a rock opera.
Yeah. No, sure.
The follow through is 100%.
It's better executed on Potato Land.
This smells like a concept album. It tastes like a concept album, except I can't detect any concept anywhere.
You have the little bit at the beginning and the end of the record. You have the world at your fingertips.
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
That's kind of it, though.
So is there? So there's no concept.
Well, like the nature of the title is like Dr. Sardonicus is like an old horror movie. And I guess Jay came up with it, and it's like 12 Dreams. So we got 12 tracks, and I think there's a little.
So they're trying to make it feel like it's a unified record, probably so that the album sells better, because this was an album market at this point. So you want to, not that they were crass in thinking that way, but
they could have been a little crass too. I think at this point they were probably really desperate to have something hit again, because when you have that backing and then it goes away, like you're just trying to get back to where you were or surpass it. They're all still so young.
Nature's Way became one of Spirit's signature songs. It wasn't a big hit at the time. It peaked at number 111 in 1971.
Also not released as a single.
Right.
It took like a while for them.
And then Mr. Skin was released as an A-side in 73.
Yeah.
And it charted at number 92. I got to say up front, I've struggled with this record. I've heard it a million times. Initially going into this series, I did not like Sardonicus at all. And then when the series started, I thought it was fair. And then I've gotten to the point where I like it, but I am nowhere near where people are on this record. My son, my 6-year-old son, his favorite song on the planet right now is Animal Zoo. He cannot,
such a good track.
He cannot hear it enough. I played it over and over for him yesterday. But ultimately, this is an album I had to work very hard to get inside, and I don't know why that is. But let's just drop the needle. Prelude, Nothing to Hide. Immediately, you can hear the production style is tighter, punchier, with far more clarity than Lou ever brought to the table, either whether right or wrong, and it's inarguably well-handled production. But
this record was done at Sound City. This was one of the first albums that was probably done there. I mean, it's funny because like in the
I don't even know if I like this production for Spirit. I just know that this is the direction that they took. Obviously, the car was thrown off a cliff after this record, but this was the lane that they took. As far as the first song actually goes, it's kind of a little bit weepy and pretentious. I don't think it's bad or great, right up the middle. A lot of this record, it feels like they're really trying to go for FM rock. And so I feel like a group trying to get on an FM rock playlist. Randy's guitar work still sounds great, but the songwriting is a little bit in a ditch for me. You're going to disagree with me completely, okay? But the final minute with the horns and Randy's slide guitar flying out into outer space, that part is killer, but it's an add-on. It's not the song itself. It's like the addendum to the song.
Yeah, to me, I mean, this track and like most of this record, it really feels like an extension. It feels like they're really like as a whole, like they're coming into something else. And I think that's like part of why it's so tragic that they broke up like right after this came out, because like they know, it had like such a shelf life. Like the fact that they put out Mr. Skin 3 years after this album came out as a single and it charted, like that's crazy.
Well, it's kind of like Time of the Season. So I don't know if you know about the Zombie.
Yeah, they like broke. They're going to break up.
They broke. No, they had broken up. Time of the Season came out, became #1, but they were a done deal. So Nature's Way is a really weird one because, this was kind of the hit from the record initially, even though it wasn't a single. It was written in an afternoon during an engagement at the Fillmore West. And honestly, I've never liked either the song or especially I don't like the bombastic arrangement because, it's like a mellow, strummy acoustic folk number with cowbell and timpani, which feels like just kind of a sonic misfire all around. I totally prefer the Potato Land version, and I had to listen to it 1,000 times before I actually started liking it. So I would say at this point,
there's like 1,000 different versions.
Yeah.
That's another song that he revisited a bunch of times.
But Animal Zoo, I love.
Animal Zoo is like Jay at his best for sure at this period. Him and Randy are both like kind of playing off each other in that one.
Right.
I think that's great.
There are these psych organ stabs that come in, and also a very simplified bass riff. You can hear these guys trying to distill the essence of what they were trying to do so that it's not as complicated as their music used to be. And I like that
you've gotten a little too long.
Yeah. I like the idea that they're intentionally scaling back and they're trying to make their music easier to connect with. But overall, I feel like because they're doing that, it's also pulling punches, and I can hear it in the music sometimes.
Yeah.
But this
is for sure that where like, I think that sort of two-sided dynamic of this band, like that totally comes to a head on this record. And you can hear it. Like you can, there's such compromise going on. I mean, it sounds like the production of this record was very difficult for them.
All right. That concludes your free sneak peek into today's bonus episode. If you want to hear the rest of it, just visit patreon.com/Discograffiti and either purchase this podcast by itself for $4 or better yet, subscribe at the major tier and get access to Discograffiti's 3 weekly episodes. That's Friday's main episode, the Sunday Discograffiti Soldiers of Sound podcast. That's our podcast within a podcast featuring Patreon members as guests and your Tuesday bonus episode. Please keep in mind this is entirely how I support my wife and 7-year-old son, so don't risk feeling badly about yourself by not supporting Discograffiti. Become a member so you don't miss a single thing at patreon.com/Discograffiti.